Yu-Gi-Oh! Has consistently brought us creepy card designs that show us creatures perfect for Halloween. They can range from the uncanny but lovable to I never want to see this again, please kill it. In this video, I'm going to cover some of the creepier Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards that haunted us in our childhood and teenhood, and maybe even our dreams last week. With thousands of cards in existence, I'm going to narrow the playing field by only covering the classic nostalgic ones, which all range from those released between Yu-Gi-Oh's inception in 1996 to the end of the GX era in 2008. Additionally, I'll only count cards that had international releases, partially because those early Japan-only monsters could fill their own list. However, if a card had censored artwork in international releases, I'll still qualify its original Japanese artwork for the list. I'll also be looking at the entry's anime appearances if they had any, since sometimes the anime turned seemingly innocuous cards into nightmare fuel. And just like beauty, fear is in the eye of the beholder, so I had to judge these completely subjectively. Now, with all those rules out of the way, it's time to look at my top 10 creepiest classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. Number 10, Dark Necrofear. Necrofear herself looks pretty cool. Part of what made her creepy was her introduction in the anime. She was in Yami Bakura's occult deck and was summoned by banishing 3 other creepy yet weak fiend monsters that are almost scary enough to be on this list, so I'll consider them honorable mentions. I never trusted that portrait's secret. Then she was used to summon a card that turns the sky into a bunch of disembodied eyes and mouths, meaning everything surrounding Necrofear's existence is unsettling. When she was on the field, she just stood there with her dark aura as Bakura introduced us to the terror of Dark Necrofear.
Dark Necrofear.
Nebula.
That just sounds like the ghosts that haunt me as I sleep at night.
You guys done with that?
She's Karen Gillan.
Anyway, what made Necrofear truly creepy was this broken doll that she carried. The anime gave us a close-up on it as it maniacally and mechanically laughs. Then when it was destroyed, the doll lingers there for a bit, melting. The anime knew damn well what it was doing in the scaring the kids department, and I respect that. If you don't remember part of that scene, perhaps it was because the 4Kids dub edited out the doll, because I guess they thought it was too creepy. Please think of the children, you know the drill. Regardless, the doll is still on all releases of the card itself and is still haunting parts of my memories. Number 9, Illusionist Faceless Mage.
This one's from the theme song.
The fact that a character doesn't have a face is creepy in its own right, but the mage himself doesn't look too bad. Maybe back in 2012 when Slender Man was the top monster, but he looks more like a department store mannequin here. What always creeped me out about this one are the 2 dummy dolls on his shoulders. Why do they have to look so cheaply put together? Have they always looked like this, or are they just old? Or are they supposed to distract me from the fact that this mage doesn't have a face? I'm on to you. I like this guy better since he's not staring directly at me. The girl is much creepier, looking front and center as her eye droops down. I think she needs Visine. His upgrade to Illusionist Faceless Magician shows the doll heads really freak out when his power gets going, so seeing that in motion would likely add to their creep factor. At least he fixes their giraffe necks in this form, and if you like all that talk about creepy dolls in these first 2 entries, then get ready for a theme with my later choices on this list. Number 8, the Wicked Worm Beast. Wicked Worm Beast has always been fun to say. Can't say the same for looking at him. That worm is crawling all throughout this poor guy. Maybe I would not be as put off by it if it was not coming out of his eye. He also has so many weird parts with tentacles coming out of his body where they should not be. Then you see part of this monster's hands and arms are turning into the worm design, so it makes you think that this is a generic monster that was infected by the worm beast, and now his body is slowly transforming into a Lovecraftian horror, or Jeff Goldblum in The Fly, not Jurassic Park. Each one of his fingers is like a tiny unpleasant worm in this form. Now I see why this worm beast is so wicked. I would definitely run away screaming if I was even lightly grazed by one of these fingers. Number 7, Bakuri Box. Here's one whose anime appearance earned him a spot. This one falls under the can't sleep, scary clown will eat me category. This one always stuck out in my mind of the anime monsters from Toon World as a kid. Many of the tunes that Pegasus used are uncanny, many, but they're pretty fun guys when you get to know them, so they never seemed that creepy in the end. Bakuri Box, though, was a different beast, and wasn't even a tune in the TCG, though we can all give Duelist Kingdom rules a pass. Besides the murderous clown Duckface, what always made this guy stand out to me was his laugh. In the dub, it was this haunting ah ha ha ha. The original Japanese version had this echoed laugh, so you get different flavors of creepy with each language. He also has a scythe in his mouth, which makes for a good deranged cartoon weapon. Even just looking at the card, he has a good creepy aesthetic, with the pointy chin, sharp teeth, crazy eyes, and jester hat that makes him look like that damn clown from Are You Afraid of the Dark? He even needs two clowns to fuse together to be summoned, so his entire makeup is creepy, though Dream Clown is actually alright. Now replace Dream Clown with Soggy the Dark Clown, and then Bakuri Box is running on maximum Twisted Clown power. Number 6, Big Eye. Big Eye is not a big guy, but I still want to steer clear of him. Cover something in a bunch of human-like eyes and it's instantly creepy. It's like someone thought Hero's Shadow Scout needed to be eerie, so they gave him the Hiei treatment. However, Hiei had a normal face and looked kinda goofy in that form. Big Eye's eyes covered just enough of his upper body to be unsettling. No matter where you look, there's a large eye staring right back at you. The most disturbing eye is the one in his mouth. Is his mouth just full of eyeball, or is the back of his throat just all eye? What does it see? Or does he not have a mouth and that's just an eye below his main eye, and this eye is very unimpressed compared to the other eyes? Thousand Eyes Restrict may have 1,000, but they're all tiny and mesh well with his undescribable body, so he's never seemed that bad to me, plus he has an endearing backstory. Big Eye, though, has no charming qualities. Even his name lies. Big Eye? There are multiple eyes here, and no single one seems to be of a greater size than the others. Well, at least he wears the pants that the Shadow Scout doesn't. Number 5, Malice Doll of Demise. The concept of a living doll is creepy, especially when the doll looks like it's decrepit and falling apart. They tried this with the anime-only Doll of Demise, no adjective. However, the Doll of Demise just looked like an edgy Pinocchio and lacked some sort of creepy factor that an antique doll could have.
He looks like a Zatch Bell doll. I like his overalls.
So Konami upgraded him when he was released in the TCG to have some creepier and more vicious features as the new Malice Doll of Demise. He now has more disheveled hair and is hunched over from holding an axe the size of his body. The shading over his eyes is good at adding the uncanny feeling to his existence, but the almost kawaii anime eyes he had in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX made him seem just as weird. You almost feel bad for these dolls because both times they appeared in the anime, the duelists using them used ectoplasm to drain them of their life force for a direct attack, turning them into normal lifeless dolls and removing the main thing unique about them. And then Arcana is treated like a horrible person for using ectoplasm on his Dark Magician after that, because apparently he doesn't care about his monster's life now, but when Jaden uses it in his duel, no one calls him out and it's treated as if elemental hero Avion is using his soul to help Jaden. GX clearly changed up the moral code for ectoplasm. Malice Doll's effect at least works well with ectoplasm. Reviving him after continuous spells send him to the graveyard, so he can keep coming back and haunting your dreams. Number 4, Ill Blood. The aesthetics of this guy make it look like he's right out of the intro for The Nightmare Before Christmas. The face in the center is creepy enough, but the fact that he's emerging from this demon guy ripping his chest apart just makes the whole thing unsettling. I don't even know how else to describe this, which means it's perfect for the Uncanny Valley. Here's Johnny? Besides not being able to figure out what he is, I can't figure out how to pronounce his name. Is it Ill Blood, All Blood, Ill Blood, I'll Bleed for the Sega Dreamcast? So many mysteries. Number 3, Parasite Parasite, specifically the Japanese version. The international version of this card looks fine. All the colors just make it look like a pretty bug that's bent on destroying society. If this was the default artwork, the worst thing it would have done is just turn all of Joey's monsters into those weird bug hybrid guys. And even those weren't very creepy, just looking like the monsters with a copy-paste parasite on them. If this was live action though, those would probably be terrifying. However, the Japanese version of this card knows how to show this parasite is not screwing around. around. He's just casually crawling through this knight's face without a care in the world about the life he's destroying. This guy is not having a good day. He just wanted to join the reinforcements, but now he has a mouthful of whatever this is. Seriously, man, don't bite down. It will just make it worse. Number 2, Necroface. Konami must have heard how old porcelain dolls can be creepy, so they took a worn down doll head and added some indescript zombie brain thing to emerge from its cracks, mainly in the eye area. The eye is the most disturbing facial zone to have things burst out of. The shading makes this creature look even more unsettling. Why does this zombie have to live in a doll head? Aren't there safer fortresses? And what kind of kid wants to play with a doll that has such bloodshot, wide open eyes? This only appeared in the manga when used by Bakura, but I feel that the spooky factor of it would be amplified in the anime. I could imagine just the head is summoned at first, and then tentacles burst out of it to go with the fear factor that Bakura has with his monsters. They may be frightening, but they all know how to put on a show. Number 1 is a card so horrifying that it could be none other than Shape Snatch. This bow tie ruins the lives of gentle one-eyed monsters by snatching their shape, and then he makes them wear hats that they don't want to wear. How horrible. No, number 1 is actually Fiend Comedian. Wait, is this another joke? These guys look delightful. This one's giving me a thumbs up, and this guy, well, it looks like he wants to offer me a questionable loan from the trunk of his car, but still, he looks like he'd be fun to go drinking with. Hold on, this is the censored international version. Well, the Japanese version can't be that diff. Oh, that's a nice blade you got there, fellows. The Japanese version of this card is horrifying. No matter where you look, there's something new and creepy to observe. Look up and you see the purple one has a cracked face and is in the midst of pulling off his skin as if he's New 52 Joker. Look down and you see the green one is covered in veins like he's Super Boo. Then you look back at the bigger one and you see he's licking his sword because he's likely a masochist. Then you look back at the green one and notice the veins are on his tongue, and then his tongue notices you because it has an eyeball. Ugh, these guys are made of nightmares. I can only find solace in the rubber duck that the purple one keeps in his hair.
Top 10 rubber duckies.
I think there was like one in...
He is the one.
You make bath time.
And now we got a copyright strike.
Wow.
Guys.
Also, I don't know what's going on with the green one's hair. It appears he's taking off a wig and I guess he's threatening us with male pattern baldness? It's not that scary, but I'm so distracted by everything else on this card that he can do whatever he wants with that. Anyway, with all those factors combined, Fiend Comedian scares its way to the top of this list. Now, what did you think? With thousands of cards created during the first 2 generations of Yu-Gi-Oh!, your own group of creepy cards is likely to look different from mine, so let me know what some of your favorite creepy Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards are in the comments section, along with what you thought about mine. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.